Alright guys, hello and welcome back to the finale of our F1M24 career mode here in Season 5. Last episode's going to be Spa, Vegas, and Monaco. We're going to go ahead and simulate Spa and Vegas, and then we're going to manually do Monaco for the finale race. Current standings, High Tech GP leading Ferrari at 441, Red Bull at 388. And then the driver standings, Alonso is leading 102 points against Oscar Piastri. Max Verstappen leading Sergio Perez 250 to 223. So these final three races are going to give us the result that we are most likely wanting. High Tech GP is going to be the Constructors Champions. We were saying that in the last episode. And then we're waiting to see if Alonso gets his third Drivers' Championship for the end of this 2028 season. So we're not really going to go into upgrades and stuff like that. We're just going to go ahead and jump right into the results for Spa. All right, here we are for the results of Spa. Fernando Alonso, yet again, another race win. Sergio Perez finishing P15, loss of 13 positions. I don't know what happened there. 3 drivers out, 2 laps, 2 drivers down a lap. Fernando Alonso pushing his lead against Oscar Piastri. That's going to confirm Fernando Alonso as the Drivers' Championship for the season. With the 2 remaining seasons, the max you can score is 26 and 26, so 54 points with the fastest lap. So, without further ado, Fernando Alonso, you are world champion for the 3rd season of your career. And then a High Tech GP still pushing against Ferrari, and we'll see what they can do, because I think it's the same thing. So it's gonna be Alonso and Ferrari, or Alonso and High Tech GP for the wins this season. Gain 1 point ahead of Williams for the pit stops as we lowered their targets. Perez didn't get his. We only lose 118,000 overall. We threw a little bit more research in towards the end. As we finish the rear wing research, we have a little bit more money. Just throwing in research with no CFD time. We already used them all. See, rear wing doesn't need those. And we want drag, DRS, and medium speed. Drop airflow. I feel like we need to work on dirty air tolerance, like for attacking. So we'll increase airflow sensitivity. We'll increase drag reduction. And then we'll drop high speed and low speed. Basically, rear wing working on DRS effectiveness, 4 kilometers an hour. How much does that change? That doesn't change much, but we do improve the dirty air tolerance. So we're gonna go for DRS reduction, delta, and airflow for the rear wing. We just need to be able to finish in enough time before the end of the season. So we're gonna throw that this last little bit. I doubt we'll have any more time for the rest of the season to throw a little bit more research in their engine, poor condition, powertrain. Do I have another engine to use? No, I do not. We're gonna stick with it. How about you? We're gonna stick with it. ERS, stick with it. Gearbox, let's go back to car 1, check those other 2. Yeah, those are good. Aero, high risk suspension. We have 4 medium risk, everything else for car 1, medium risk for most things like car 2. All right, so we will see you guys for the results of the Vegas Grand Prix and see if there's any other changes throughout the rest of the grid. So it looks like this is going to be the last of our changes, but we still have a fight between Audi and Porsche. So we'll see you guys for the results of Vegas. I yet again forgot to unmute my microphone. You guys saw the results of our drivers yet again. Fernando Alonso sitting in first in the driver standings, and Sergio Perez sitting 4th, leading against Logan Sargent. So that's the battle we're going to be looking at in Monaco, is Sergio Perez versus Red Bull. And then let's see, any constructor standings. Toyota, Haas, Porsche, Haas, and Audi are going to be fighting for that 7th spot as we wrap up this race. It's driver changes. Think about next year's drivers attached to this annual report. Cars for our drivers. Let's just showcasing our drivers for the next season. Staff changes. That's fine. Design center improvement. That's fine. Race simulator, poor condition, post-race data. That's fine. Training schedule. Cumulative. Chance of mistakes. Well, we might get some mistakes here on race day in Monaco. So let's go ahead and mitigate that as best as possible. Can we go rest? Fatigue reduction? Yeah, let's go fatigue reduction for the last race. Finish out strong. Replace some parts. It's a good thing we bought those extra parts and focused on them throughout half the season, because we wouldn't have had any more to deal with. So we have the parts and they're pretty well thought out. 23% on that. Let's swap to the 32% for Alonso. And then do we have anything higher for Perez? No, we do not. We have another gearbox for him. We do. Let's put on a fresh gearbox because we might as well. Gearbox, fresh gearbox for the final race. I believe that is an RD change. We're changing back to 3. But yeah, so our stats for our cars this race looking pretty solid here in Monaco. Provisional positions 1st and 2nd. As we go back to our drivers. Fernando Alonso, 11. As we go into the race, last race of the season, 11 race wins for Alonso, 17 podiums, 2 sprint wins, 10 pole positions, 0 DNFs for Fernando Alonso on this season, 6 fastest laps. Our other driver, Sergio Perez, 1 race win, 1 sprint win. The race win we did, I think that was a team order that we gave him the win. 8 podiums, 1 pole position, 3 DNFs, and 2 fastest laps. So we got both of our drivers a pole position. I don't believe we had a front row lockout, but we'll have to wait and see. Sergio, Logan Sargent passing his teammate in the standings with 1 race win, 1 sprint win, 4 podiums, 0 pole positions, 2 DNFs, and 1 fastest lap. So, final race of the season. 3 drivers have yet to score. It's going to be a showdown between Sergio Perez and Red Bull being the focus of this episode. Let's get to qualifying.
The streets of Monte Carlo are ready as the drivers now prepare for 78 laps around this historic track.
Monaco can hand out unpredictable results, just like in 1982, when 4 race leaders hit trouble. Riccardo Patrese eventually claimed the win after managing to restart his stalled car by himself with a downhill bump start.
The world's most famous street track, Circuit de Monaco, and it demands total accuracy from teams and drivers alike. Pit stops are crucially important for passing here, so timing them right can be the key to victory. Race day has arrived, and the time has almost come for these drivers to fight it out, wheel to wheel. Welcome back, everyone. The final preparations are now being made as we head into the race. The calm composure of Sergio Perez amongst the hustle and bustle of the grid.
What a day for them, starting on the 2nd row. Holding on to 4th will be a challenge in the race, though.
But there's no more time left. We've got a race on our hands. We're here and the streets are abuzz at the Monaco Grand Prix.
All right, here we go.
And it's
Final
lights
race of the
out,
season
and away
in
we
Monaco.
go.
60% chance of a safety car, so we dropped all of our fuel down because I have a feeling that we're going to get a safety car or a red flag. We're going to be going to one stop for our drivers, medium to hard for Perez, hard to medium for Alonso. And we're going to hope for the best, hope for a safety car.
Got the pace, you can do this.
Copy.
And hope we don't
But I leave it to you to judge.
regret dropping our fuel to the minimum amount. Because that 12 kilogram is gonna give us an edge, but it's just a matter of safety cars. Perez P3, Alonso P6. As Verstappen, Leclerc leading the front. Sergeant Lindblad chasing after Perez. As a reminder, it's Perez versus the Red Bulls for the driver standings. Fernando Alonso and our team are the winners for this season. As we have High-Tech GP 705 provisionally.
Currently
DRS
P6.
enabled. No rain to come for this race. As we'll just leave the strategy
Car behind is
alone
Piastri.
for now.
He's 0.5 behind.
They are pushing battery. No replays as of yet that I've noticed. Pack is starting to form. Top three of Sargent just outside the 1 second mark for DRS. The only DRS we have is sector 1 start and finish line. Just hope we don't regret the fuel. But we're doing it by chance regardless. The team wins no matter the result. And it'd be nice to have Perez finish ahead of Red Bull. Nothing else going on as of yet, so we'll go ahead and sim forward until something happens. So we'll see you guys shortly. All right, it's lap 19, end of lap 19, start of lap 20. As Verstappen is in the lead, we had a replay of Perez taking over Leclerc. Lindblad has done the same.
Entire phase update when you can.
Doing pretty good with our tires.
Yeah.
One stop looking like for
holding on.
everybody. A lot of hard tires, a lot of medium tires. And our fuel is looking accurate, so as soon we'll reach that 0 kilogram difference by the end of the race, because we're already technically a quarter of the way through the race. As Perez is 3.3 behind of Verstappen for the first pack. Be Perez, Lindblad, Leclerc, Sargent. Alonso is a little bit farther behind, so Verstappen leading the first pack of P2 through P6. Then Piastri, gap to Russell, and then Vesti. Sainz is trying to stay behind him. And then we have Stroll, Tsunoda, and then Albon. The times are all over the place. Getting a little bit warmer tires on those hard tires for Alonso. I guess we can dump some more battery right now.
Load push.
Copy.
We'll dump that for a few laps and then see what goes on. So no safety car as of yet. We do have a lot of cars overtaking or attempting to overtake, so I'm hoping for a safety car to help our fuel, but going 20 laps without any incident,
Yeah, currently P2.
we might not have that. So we'll see you guys here in a moment, whether it be something else or the pit stops. So first pit stop will be on lap 38.
0.3. We need to reduce K1 usage.
Copy.
All right, lap 28, and the first driver to go into the pits is the Ferrari. We have Verstappen there. Leclerc is the first to go into the pits onto a new set of hard tires. So that's going to be a double stop for Leclerc. Hard, medium, most likely. As we wait to see if anybody else comes into the pits, we have Lindblad might be on a 2-stop. Russell 2-stop.
Update your tire phase when you can.
So, yeah, Lindblad, Russell maybe. I don't know if anybody else is going to be coming in as well. But the gap to the leader is 3 seconds between Verstappen and Perez, former teammates. Lindblad still behind Perez, but that's 5.8 seconds of the gap. We have Piastri 6.4 seconds behind P5, which is Alonso. Russell in pit, like I was saying, and then the other person might be Lindblad, maybe the next lap. Might be coming in the next lap here. Behind the leaders. 7.4 kilograms for the fuel difference. 29 out of 78, so we're just under halfway. And we will more than likely get to the fuel because we haven't touched it. We're not going to touch it. And Alonso was putting pressure on Piastri, I believe it was, or Sargent, one of them. But they backed off again. So we're gonna see who else comes through the pits. See if Verstappen does the same thing. Verstappen stays out. See if Lindblad goes in. One of the Red Bulls. No, both Red Bulls staying out so far. All right. We'll see you guys here in a few laps for Alonso's pit stop. All right, here we are at lap 37, start of lap 38. We had Verstappen going to the pits. What's the interval? 15 seconds? Yeah, he's gonna end up going in. Alonso's gonna be coming in here. Crossing the line now. Yep. On the mediums. I'm gonna go ahead and harvest and attack.
Boxing now.
We're gonna leave the fuel alone.
Yes. Box.
See if you can increase that gap. So 11.
Okay, so mode push.
Alonso to Verstappen. 14. Yeah, that's like a 10-second gap. He's back there. Oh, Alonso's P2. But we're still gonna push. Perez will be coming in at the end of the next lap. Gasly's in the pits. He's the backfield. Back marker. No cars have yet to be passed. We see Bottas there coming down the main straight. Perez staying out. Alonso coming in. And we did change that pit strategy, or pit training, to relieve the mistakes. So we have Piastri, Verstappen pushing behind him.
Copy.
As we have pit options for Sergio Perez.
Pit lane.
And we'll stick with the
Copy,
primary view.
Yeah, copy. Box, box.
All right, that's no issues on the car. That's sweet. Perfect. 1.915 is the stop time. As we have other drivers. Albon in, Stroll in, Ocon in. As Alonso's going to be coming out ahead, behind Sargent. Ahead of Lawson. All right, now we have Sergio Perez. His pit stop. Got 11.6 seconds to Perez.
P9.
So Alonso
Okay,
came
let's
out
go,
P9, and with the current gap, Perez might come out
Albon behind.
between Piastri and Sainz. He is pushing. He's already at the end of the lap. There's no sense in pushing that car.
Okay.
So neutral, battery. Perez coming in. Let's see if he can make a decent pit stop here. No issues, please. All right, no issues for him. 2010. Our stops are done. And Fernando Alonso 1914 sitting second place for that for this race. Sergio Perez sitting at P6 for 2010. So decent amount of provisional points as of right now, as we have some other drivers in the pits.
Piastri car in front.
Right, neutral,
5.7 in front.
neutral.
He's 4.4 behind.
Signs, Sonoda in the pits, Lawson in the pits. Oh, did Haas double stop? Haas double stopped. I think they had enough gap. Joe in the pits. Alger with an engine issue. Joe, Lawson, Bottas, Gasly. Verstappen is ahead of... Nope, nobody lapped yet. Gasly's doing a two-stop. He might get pit. Get lapped, but that is fine. Perez back up at the P3. Not really any change. Lindblad ahead of Leclerc. Alonso P7. 6 seconds behind Sargent as they warm up their tires. All right, we'll have Alonso deploy for a few laps.
Mode push.
And we'll see you guys here in a few laps after something happens. All right, here we are on board with Perez as Verstappen starts lap 50. 29 laps to go.
Copy.
We're just under 4 kilograms difference in fuel, which I honestly feel like we might not make it to the end of this race with our fuel. So we're really hoping something happens. Sergio Perez running aggressive on those hards is actually doing good on tire life, which is kind of surprising here. I think it's because he has a lot of clean air ahead of him. 9 seconds is the gap between Verstappen and Perez. Lindblad still 4.5 seconds, 4.6 behind Perez, and then Leclerc splitting the two Red Bulls. A very widespread grid. We can take a look at see where Bottas is, as Verstappen has passed Bottas, and so Bottas is the only person down currently during this race. So we're gonna go ahead and sim forward towards the end of the race and see if anything else happens. Very calm, very steady race so far this season, or for the season finale here in Monaco. All right, here we are, lap 60, halfway through lap 60. Verstappen still 8 seconds ahead of Perez, Lindblad, and Sargent ahead of Alonso. So Alonso's moved up ahead against Leclerc after being overtaken from Sargent. Hauger has more issues with his car. Lindblad still has that issue, sitting P3. And then Alonso, the powertrain has dropped under 30%. Curves and condition, no negative effects as of right now, but we do have possibility of faults throughout the rest of this race, as there is about 18-19 laps to go. So we go through the grid for provisional points. Let's see, driver standings. No driver changes currently. And constructors. No current changes in constructors either. So very questionable efforts from the drivers today. Because I believe the battle was between Haas and Porsche. It was Porsche, Haas, and Audi. Audi would lead with their 2 points from Albon, and then Porsche are outside of the points and then Haas just outside of the point. So Sainz versus Vesti to get into the top 10, as we are getting nearer to the end of this season and of this race. 1.8, 1.9 kilograms. With that many laps to go, we will hit.
P2.
We will even out our
Verstappen
fuel
is in front of
probably the lap before or 3 laps
Carry
before.
front.
We'll see
Verstappen,
in
7.7.
a few laps. So we're going to go ahead and sim forward towards the last 3 laps of this race. Alonso overtakes Lindblad for P3, 10 laps to go. Sainz also overtakes Vesti for P10. That puts Haas on the board for this weekend, trying to close the gap on Audi Sport. So 80 points, 10 points difference, 20 points difference between Porsche and Audi. Not nearly enough high position for points to change the constructor standings. Perez still holding strong on those hard tires, which is very shocking. 10 laps to go with a half kilogram, so I feel like we can be confident enough to
No more
jump
lift and coast.
to balanced
Copy.
on our fuel usage. Piastri holding on to the fastest lap currently, as Verstappen still holding on to the lead. We chipped away at least a second, as it looks like McLaren of Norris has been lapped. So Norris, Ricciardo, Gasly, Iwasa, Hauger, and Bottas. 6 drivers have been lapped for this final race of the season, as we've been monitoring the damage on the powertrain and the engine. It's 26. It's only dropped 1% throughout the last iteration that we have simulated through since we last were here. But we're gonna go ahead and simulate to the last 3 laps of the race. All right, here we are, 3 laps to go. Perez 7.2 behind Verstappen. Alonso 15 seconds. I was right, pretty much. We are on standard fuel. Verstappen 7.3 ahead, no issues, and this is the point of the race where no safety cars can happen. And with that 60% odds of a safety car, that is kind of crazy here. As we have more people with issues. Sainz has an issue, Gasly has an issue. So we're gonna go ahead and simulate forward. No issues as of right now. You can see how widespread the track is. It's Verstappen coming down the tunnel into the pool section and starting the final lap. On board with Verstappen here. He has a lapped Audi behind him. Is that Zhou Guanyu?
Last
Or
lap.
is that Albon?
Copy.
Who is that behind him? 2, 3. That is a lapped Audi of Zhou Guanyu. And that is a Williams of Russell ahead, with the Haas of Lawson there. Verstappen still coming out on top, winning here in Monaco. 8 seconds between him and Perez in P2 as he's coming into the tunnel. Alonso coming down to the hairpin ahead of Lindblad. No real major issues today for this finale, so I do apologize that there wasn't that much action. I kind of had a feeling that that was going to play out the way it did, as we have Verstappen, the race winner, coming across the line. This blue flag for the Williams. Perez coming around the final corner, crossing the line for P2. So that's Perez.
Verstappen over the finish line and today's winner.
All right, let's go ahead and show
And
this.
Verstappen finishes first.
All right, Verstappen in the Ferrari winning the race.
You can't say they didn't earn it. They put in an amazing
Final race of the
performance
season.
today.
And we have Alonso coming through the final corner. Final race of the season for Alonso. Final race for his career. And he comes out on top as drivers' champion of the 2028 season.
That's the checkered flag.
And they also
P3.
get our team our first Constructors Championship in 5 seasons.
Well done, mate. Superb job.
Leclerc,
Stop
Stroll,
for the box
Albon
and
scoring a
going to
point for Audi. Sainz finishing out the top 10 ahead of Vesti. For our finale race. Just let it play out till the ending animation. All right, Constructors Champion and Drivers Champion achievements for our team.
Well-deserved podium. You've got to say their race strategy was very good indeed.
It's a double podium for the team as well.
But it's easy to forget just what it means to the whole team. And onto the podium goes Sergio Perez, and he's certainly in good company there.
And that's excellent, seeing both the team's drivers up there on the podium together.
Always a special occasion here in the incomparable Monte Carlo. They'll be pushing the boat out here tonight, no doubt.
I think it would have been really cool if they had a champion or a winning animation of them jumping into the bay. That'll be really fun.
How do you think they'll be feeling in the
All
team
right.
garage at the end of that?
Well, they'll be so proud.
I don't think we've had this animation where they're out on the pit lane.
Certainly doing something right.
I think it's a special one for when we win the
And
Constructors.
thank you everyone for joining us this weekend here in Monaco.
And that's it for this season of Formula One. The teams will be working hard at the break, gearing up for another year of thrilling F1 action.
All right, a lot of celebrations in Monaco for the season finale. Max Verstappen wins, Sergio Perez P2, Fernando Alonso P3. Here are our final results for standings. Fernando Alonso P1, Drivers' Championship for 3 times now, leading against Oscar Piastri, Verstappen P3, Sergio Perez P4. Constructors, we win by a long shot, 715 points against Ferrari's 516. With all the research that we did last season, I felt like we didn't do enough, but it still turned out to be enough. Unfortunate for Zhou Guanyu, Yuma Awasa, and Valtteri not scoring any points on the season, and I'm not sure where they're going the next season. As all teams scored points, Andretti Cadillac scoring 9, Mercedes finishing in 10th, Porsche, Toyota, Audi scoring P7 in the constructor standings with 1 fastest lap and a lot of points finishes. It's gonna be interesting to see where they end up next season, as Williams is pushing really good, Aston Martin, McLaren, Red Bull, Ferrari, and then high tech. I was half tempted to not go with the high tech for the next season, but we're just gonna go ahead and include that in this episode just because they both reached their targets. We only get 137. As long as we finish in the positive, that is fine. So we go to the post-race, or post-season results. Fastest lap pit stop 2028. We come in 9th for 53 points. That is 1.9 million for the team. Director mentality low. Then high confidence for the board for pit stops. Paddle award performance increase. He just had a performance decrease before the race weekend. Race review, Monaco. Strategy prep, Monaco feature race, F2 and F3 results, Formula 2 champion results. Andrea Kimi Antonelli, we're picking him up for the next season, comes out on top. Natasha, I don't know how to say your name. Plummer and Gabriel Bortoletto for our top 3. Trident, Invicta, and High Tech Pulse 8. Our F2 team comes out in 3rd place. And then Formula 3, Corhonen, Colapinto in F3. Wow. I think that's a generated player. And then High Tech in our F3 series came out on top. MP P2, and then ART came out P3. And then our 2028 championship for the team, they don't have a screen title for us, so it's just grayed out. Notable for third place, Ferrari came in second, but 715 points. It's High Tech GP F1 team taking home the trophy. We had a goal, we fought tooth and nail for it, and we achieved it. So incredibly proud of everyone at High Tech GP F1 team and the work they put in. The aim is now to defend this title in the years to come. We had a goal, we fought tooth and nail for it, and we achieved it. High Tech GP P1, Fernando Alonso, third Drivers' Championship for him as he goes most likely into retirement. As we go to finish out the rest of our stuff for the season, we have some research to finish out. Just simming through the month of December. Underfloor and suspension. December staff survey. I don't know. I don't understand the attitude stuff. I try to please that as much as possible. We can take a look at our rules and regulations for the next season. We're taking back about half of airflow, and well, this has already been implemented, and then we make half of that back, and then drag reduction just a little bit under half, or over half. Side pod, we lose a lot of side pod this season, but that is okay. For the next season, actually, that is okay. Research complete. Finish out the rest of that. December 24th, Christmas Day. We finished research on the 29th. Front wing. Research complete. Our call is red just in case. As we go into Sunday, the final day of the season, final day of the year, we achieved our last season sponsor review target. 61,300,000 for mandatory activities. Team marketability goes up to 858. The final bits of research, as I don't know what this screen is. I don't know. Continue. Drivers' Championship. Drivers' Champion. Yep. Fernando Alonso first. Sergio Perez fourth. High Tech first. Team rating increased to 3.25. Performance target. We had till 2030 to get this, but we got it early. And then team principal rating 1,000, so I believe that's the max we can get. Team rating up to 679, 139 from 26. Ooh, heritage up to 8, 826 up to team rating. 1.5 million extra for board confidence. Monthly affiliate changes. Driver development update. All right. Regulation changes for 2029. The final regulation change going into 2029. So the wind tunnel times are going to be changing. So we drop down to 56 for that. And we lose a lot of percentage on our side pods anyways. So, CFD simulator time also drops for us. As we go into the next season, we're not going to be showing the next season on the game on the channel, but we're just going to go through this just because. I haven't looked into seeing what other contracts are for the next season. And can I go back from this? Or is that too late? All right. Can I choose them again? I can choose them again if I wanted to. So Ferrari. I think this is all default. Leclerc back to Ferrari? Now it's showing the current drivers going into the season. Sargent. Piastri. Ocon. George Russell. Zhou, Audi. Haas. Carlos Sainz, Haas. Porsche. Pierre Gasly. Is that Tsunoda? Tsunoda and Mercedes. I don't remember seeing Tsunoda and Mercedes. And then isn't that Pourchaire? They came out on top. Team performance. We came out on top. Headquarters, quality. Yeah, Mercedes isn't doing great. You know, we're gonna take Audi. Just because. We'll go Audi. We're switching teams. We're jumping ship. That's the word I'm looking for. We're jumping ship. With their increase of performance. Alright. Welcome to the new season. Medium, 6 or above, podium contender, balance tab. Yeah, that's pretty much what we're doing. Jumping right into the next season. We'll do that on our own time. And I hope you guys enjoyed. We got Fernando Alonso, his 3rd world champion trophy, and High-Tech GP's 1st Constructors Championship win. And after 5 seasons, we leave to go to Audi. And I hope you guys enjoyed. So keep a lookout for the next season we're going to be doing in the rotation of our series. Since finishing F1M24, we'll drop it to Ghost Recon and F1M25. So I'm looking forward to starting up the next series into the rotation to keep that 3 series rotation. And I hope you guys enjoyed. So we'll see you guys in the next one.